but keep doing it. We don't know any difference, right? It's the people that get outside that box, that get outside and allow your mind to expand, are the ones that are seeing success. And we're going to talk about today about how to grow a business, and it's all about, it comes down to one word. It comes down to duplicating, to doing something at the basic skill level and just keep duplicating that process. And the more we talk about it, like Tony DePaula talks about, you keep chopping and chopping and chopping, good things and then great things will happen to you. It doesn't happen overnight. See, in our regular jobs or our regular businesses, we go out, if you're in real estate, you get a deal done and you get that money, but you got to go do it again. You got to keep chasing your next deal. Joe, in your business, you go get a couple big jobs and you're happy and you hope you get that money, but you got to go out and do it again. See, this is something, and the magic of this business is once you start building this, you do not see instant gratification like we do with our jobs or our businesses. This is about having a vision, putting yourself somewhere 4 years down the road that's going to pay you month after month after month after month after month. It takes the stress out of your life. It gives you the realization that you're involved in something very special. So how do you get from where you're at now to get to that next place? It's about really having an open mind, number one, having no fear. And what eliminates and depresses that fear is confidence about getting around people like Tony DePaula and Steve Levy. And David Epstein, who had more fear than anybody I've ever seen in this business 6 months ago, and is a whole different person today because he kept coming. He kept getting around the sharp people. He kept listening to the audios, watching the videos. And now he knows this is meant for him. Now he's going after the sharpest people with no fear because he realizes he's given that person a gift if that person accepts it as a gift. When you know you can build something in 4 to 5 years that can quadruple your best year of business without having to go to work anymore, if that's not special enough for anybody to see, I kind of feel sorry for that person. Because there's going to be people that came into this business 5 years from now are going to look back and they're going to totally kick themselves in their rear ends because they gave up. They gave up on building something for them and their family and leaving a legacy for their family that a job or owning a business can never give you. It can't happen, but I can tell you right now it can happen right here. Tone, a couple words, talk to somebody.
Yeah, I just want to get this thing started because we want to get you out by like 2:30 this afternoon. And I think the one thing I don't want to do and we don't want to do today is overwhelm any of the new folks in here. I think that's very important. And we kind of keep it focused, keep it simple, but everybody will walk away with a little bit of something if that's okay. That's what we'll do. So we'll use the duplicate, they call it a duplicate process, really 8 steps. And each step, you know, you can really do 2 days on one step alone. I mean, John's gone to events where they're just talking for 2 days about contact and inviting. Entire books have been written in volumes and series on contact and inviting. You go to a Barnes & Noble or Amazon and there's just reams of information about how to build a list and how to contact and invite. So we're gonna try to keep this as simple as possible. So what you have to know, I think, is that don't let the environment that you're in dictate where you're gonna go or what you want. And that comes down to step 1, is your why. Is you have to determine your why. And if your why is, I'd like an extra couple of bucks a month, to tell you the truth, you won't last more than 2 months in this business if that's all you're coming in to do this for. Because you're going to say, geez, what the heck why are people saying no to me, and this person is on a budget and that person already has a third-party supplier? Why am I doing this for a few bucks? And you'll quit. If you have some vision, and what you should do, sit down here this morning when Mike is going to talk about step 2, how far out we can look is really what makes the difference here. And knowing that we all start in the same position, but we have to determine why we're willing to get involved with a bunch of strange people, and we're all strange to you right now. Why am I trusting Michelisa, and she's bringing me here on a beautiful Sunday morning? What is the purpose for you really being here? And really that is step one, is determining that. And many times I can tell you from my own perspective, it comes down to really being a better father, a better husband, and a better provider. Something that I'll tell you right now, I don't think I was a very good provider to my family because of the career path I chose, and that ended up causing a lot of stress because I acted like I was making $200,000 a year and I was making $32,000 a year. So that put us in a lot of stress, and when you put in a lot of stress, you're not the person you want to be. So I think there's a lot of ground I can make up. That's certainly a big part of my why. I mean, I got a lot of pain involved in that why because a lot of the things that financial stress has caused me to do, and unfortunately I flew off the handle. It's many people that I loved, and I got a lot of things to make up. And along the way, people that you know and you love saying, well, why are you doing this? Why do you keep going to these meetings? And I have a big picture perspective. Because when I sat down, just the way you're sitting down right now, I looked in front of the room, I says, you know that fat guy up there, he's no better than I am. He's no smart. I'm talking about myself. John was fat at the time, by the way. No better than I am, and he's got a vision. And then I started seeing, there's a lot of people that are actually really winning at this business. And you know what? Don't let the environment connect a tremendous value proposition. So what you have to do is just, determine your why. And then number two is being committed, okay? Being committed to goals. And the first goal when you come into a business, and in this particular business, should be, and Michelisa being your team leader and anybody else who's new in here, they will guide you on what the best value proposition in your market is. And there happens to be one here in JCP&L, and that's the what I believe to be either the Freedom or the Freedom Flex with the auto lock. Where if you do that yourself and you have 7 other people do that, okay, right now that's $200. If you do it before the end of the month, okay, that's another $160, okay? So that's $360. Then you become your own solar customer, that's $460, and then Solar City will give you another $250. So you're up at $710. That's a nice, simple way to get started. Because A, you're going to learn the solar process, what's involved, and there's not much involved, but you'll go through the process, become much more comfortable, become your own first customer, and then teach 7 other people how to become your customer, and put them in the best value product. If your base is in New Jersey or if it's in New York, same thing. And so it's a real simple way to start. I'm not punching you over the head here to do a lot, okay? So, you kind of commit to do that by April 30th, and all of that is there for you for the taking. The next thing, or the thing that we want to do simultaneously, and I think that we all should get in the habit of doing this, is creating a list, okay? And when we create a list, we want at least 100 names. And that's step 3, but taking step 3 into step 2, which is kind of weird, and getting started and getting committed, is as we're acquiring those customers that we're talking about, what I do now, and this is for people that are in the business, but if you're just coming into the business and you're going to make this list, take 10 names today. And I think Sunday evenings are the best thing to do, because Sunday we're all, we got another week ahead of us. So take your 10 names on Sunday night, and that is your chunk for the week, okay? I'm not saying take 300 names for the week and go get them, because that is completely unrealistic, okay? Take 10 names and say, these are the 10 folks I'm going to talk to this week. And next to them, you're going to write, they're going to be my customers, and initially, maybe that's what it's going to be. 5 out of 10 of them are going to be customers, and then maybe the other 5, I want to approach them about showing them the business, and we'll get into that in a second. So if you can commit to some certain goals, okay, And you have your why, you have your long-term vision, and just set some small objectives. And in 2 weeks, I'm going to get 7 customers beside myself. I'm going to check my box to be a solo customer, at least get a proposal. If you can do that, and then get the first 10 names on your list, and let's work that together. Let's contact those people and tell them, hey, I'm excited about a green company I'm involved in. I'd like you to become my customer. Would mean a hell of a lot to me. So you do that with your customers, okay? And then, at 3 is the list building part of it, okay? And we build a list, and building a list for all of us is rather easy because we have all these electronic devices and emails and LinkedIn and Facebook, and we could simply transcribe that to a piece of paper, and it is essential to transcribe that to a piece of paper because as you write, physically something is released in your brain to say, well, I know Joe, but Joe also knows Frank and Vinny, and now Frank and Vinny, now you get a 3-for-1 on that list. And it's an important process, and it's a process that I initially overlooked for 6 months and wondered why my business was completely meandering and I wasn't going anywhere. So it took people 10 times to tell me to make a list before I finally make a list. Do yourself a favor, don't blow me off here, make the list if you're new. It's essential. Because when you have a big list, you feel like $1 million. Even if no one came into your business in 2 weeks, say, hey, look at my list. I get years worth of work ahead of me. You don't want to have a complete list of just 10 people on your desk lamp and say, oh geez, I talked to 7 people. I got 3 more, or my dreams are over. What's going to happen? What's going to happen?
Bigger the list, the bigger the dreams.
Right. The bigger the list is really is all the potential, is all your inventory. So make the list big, and don't prejudge the list. Say, oh, this guy will never do it. Just put him down. Put him down. Because as you put him down, go ahead.
And the list is a lifelong process. The list is something we want to add to
Right.
1, 2, 3 people a day, every single day. It's our active candidate list.
Right.
These are people that we're just going to go and meet. Our list when we initially sit down are people that we know. But every day that we go places, whether it's the gas station or it's work, or it's wherever we go, we're always a waiter, a movie theater, you're meeting people all the time. And now you've got something to give them. You've got a gift to give away. So how are you not going and putting these people on your list?
No. Go ahead, Kevin.
And it's good to revisit your list. We have Ray Rossi here, who I visited 1.5 years ago, and he's here now, and he's sorry he didn't jump in 1.5 years ago.
Well, it's about the timing, like we always say, Kev. When somebody tells you no, when you hear this, you're going to hear this.
For the last time, no.
Yes, sir.
Just on the list, something I do is I keep it out. It's always out. It's on my kitchen. My wife tries to tuck it away. Get this thing up a little way. Leave it, because when somebody pops in my head, I put it down. And that'll happen 3, 4, 5, on a good day, 10 times. So keep it out where you see it. Don't tuck it away in your little Viridian packet. Put it out
Exactly
there.
right.
Keep it there. And it'll stay in
I
your
keep it
mind.
with me all day long.
Right.
And I keep adding to it because that list is going to be your freedom. See, when you understand how to play the game, you just got to play it the right way.
Why do people give you these things?
To call that.
Do business with them.
Oh, it's not to put in your drawer?
It's to go and add them. They give it to you because they want you to add them to your list.
Pick your teeth.
Right. In case I ever need this stooge, I'll have his number.
You know,
He goes on my list. Whether he likes it or not, he's on my list. Whether I know him or not,
Tony, can I just hit on the why before we move on to step 2 and Mike takes over?
we're on step 3, by the way. Go ahead.
Well, you blew past step 2 prematurely, but I won't hold you against that. This guy here, you might have seen him on Oprah, you might have seen him on a lot of shows. Kevin had the good fortune of meeting him. Steve, did you meet him?
Yeah, I know.
You met him. Tony met him at the leadership retreat. He's a guy, his name is Kyle Maynard. He has no arms and no legs. He climbed Mount Kilimanjaro, one of the biggest mountains in the world. Climbed it with extensions on his arms that were duct taped with hooks to climb that mountain for 16 days. And I just want to hit on one thing, why we talk that you can't move forward in this business without having a strong why. If you don't have a strong why, you're going to crash and burn in this business just like you will in every other business. It's no different. But when we met him, and he told his story that he was 3/4 of the way up to this mountaintop, and he was broken. Like a lot of us in our regular business or our lives, we get broken. It's a roller coaster. And he was in a tent at night, bleeding from his limbs. And he said, quite frankly, in my head, I couldn't go on. And he was freezing, he was bleeding, he was shaking, and he was crying all night long. And the only thing in his mind was getting back down to the bottom and being safe, being comfortable. And there was one thing that made him go forward. And he said, John, it was a woman came up to me with her son's ashes that was killed in Iraq when I was at the bottom before I started that climb. And she said, will you commit to me for bringing my son's ashes to the summit of Mount Kilimanjaro? And he looked at this woman and said, absolutely. And she went up to him, put the ashes around his neck on a lanyard. And he said, that was the difference from me making legitimate excuses not to move forward, to shift my mind. So when he signed the book for me and my wife, he said in the book, when he signed it with his mouth, and he wrote down, he said, find your why. And I guarantee each and every one of you in this room, if you have a strong enough why, it'll overwhelm every excuse that can pop into your head. When you don't want to go to a meeting, when you don't want to go to show the plant, when you don't want to go out and get meters, when you look at your children, your grandchildren, your spouse, and look at that every day, you'll have fear of nothing. Because the only thing is you hitting your target that's going to provide and leave a legacy for you and your family. And that's where it all starts. And that's why I wanted to tell you the story. Because just like it hit Kevin, and it hit Steve, and it hit Tony, to be around this man, this guy has reasons to make every excuse in the world. And he says he has a great life. So think of what we have. We have our arms and our legs. We have our mind, just like he has his mind. All we got to do is shift our mind and make a commitment. When you make that commitment, I guarantee you 4 years from now, your life will be changed, if not before. It happened to me and my wife a little bit faster because I just hit this, I hit this, I hit this, and I let nobody penetrate my mind. The closest people to me, they're the ones that are going to try to steal your dreams. If you don't let someone else steal your dreams, you're going to grow a big business and you'll be the happiest person on the face of this earth 4 years from now, realizing you can live your life without any stress.
Hey John, when someone tries to steal your dreams, does it fuel you more, or does it make you stop?
No, I mean the first 5 people I signed up didn't even put their own meters in. And it hit me in the gut, but it just made me get more tenacious. Realize, see, I always look at somebody else as a benchmark. If I see other people accomplishing something, I know it's not impossible. And I say to myself, if they can do it, I can do it. So that's all we have to do here is follow the steps that of people that are successful, and that's all I did, and that's all Tony did, and that's all Steve did, and that's why we're growing businesses now that are going to replace our regular companies, our regular business. But when it all comes down to it, you can't get freedom no matter how big your company is, no matter how great a job you have, you'll never have freedom. This is about time freedom, spending time with the ones we love. And this is about Christmas time every 10th of the month when you grow a business. Every 10th of the month when you get money wired in your account without having to go to work, that's when the magic really resonates with you in this business. Mike, step 2.
Yeah, I mean, it all got there from John's commitment to what he needed to do in this business. And what he needed to do is start setting goals and look at that associate career path and say, hey, I want to get here. What do I need to do that? And to do that, I need to set a certain goal to get to that path. And now I look at that in my traditional business, which is owning a swimming pool business. And I got comfortable. I got complacent. I wasn't making, the same commitments. I wasn't setting the same goals until I got into something like this, and it made me realize that you have to do that everywhere. You can't just be in the same place at the same time, making the same money, doing the same things. We're human beings. We want more. We want progress. We want to keep on going. So doing that and setting those goals and commitments helped me personally. It helped me in my business. It's helping me here. And being around, the Big Johns and the Tony DePaula will allow you to do that. So I stress to you, you know, guys, every single day, whether it's a small little goal for the week, up to a couple of months, up to a couple of years of where you want to be, you have to have that in place to keep, you know, to keep you going and going. And then, you know, step 3 is, like we went over before, is, you know, who you know and the list. And yes, it is always growing and you're always working on it. But what we need to remember, the new people that we're working on, the new people that we're meeting on, it's not about shoving a business card in, you know, in their face, or you know, just kind of really just talking about Marin. This is a business of connections. This is a business of being personal with people. And the more we're personal with people and more we're a human being, we be us and not just you know, the lines and things that we hear and we just don't spit it out. We really need to see who they are, what they're about, what's their job, what's their kids, what kind of sports you like. And when you do that, your list will just really grow. Yeah. And you'll really make that really good connection.
And Mike is great at this, by the way. He knows what color my tile is, what color everyone's rugs are, their cars, their kids. Mike has really been a student of this, and it's really starting to pay dividends for Mike. And Mike is a challenged guy because he's only 31 years old. I don't know how old you guys are in the back.
25.
Okay, so it's different. Like we're old people in this room, so just by default we have huge networks and lists. You know, you guys now you operate in a different sphere, you know, socially and all that. And I know we're setting up some calls with Eric Stewart. There's like a you know,
young entrepreneurs. There's people in this business that are 18, 19 years old that are making over $400 and $500 a month in true passive. What do you think they're going to be at in 5 years? This one girl's a freshman in college at Kent State University. Her family's from Boston. She's going to be making director, winning this trip to Bermuda. She's a freshman in college. And she said to me on the phone, when I get out of college and everybody else is looking for a job, I'm going to be retired. I'm going to be able to do whatever I want to do. Yep. That's the difference here, people, about having a vision. Right? Know that you're in business with Elon Musk, the #1 businessman in the world. How can you not approach everyone? If somebody tells you, oh, this is a scam, this is a scheme, you don't want to deal or interact with that person anyway.
We'll show them.
You know, I don't need to change anybody's mind. I just keep flipping the cards and exposing people, and if somebody sees it, if the hair on their arms don't stand up, I don't want them in my business. Be a customer. Keep going on in that hamster wheel of life and see where you end up. It's not going to be a good place.
Yeah, so, you know, back to, you know, being personal and everything, you know, I was just with one of my employees the other day, and I go out with them, you know, all the time, making sure they're doing the right things, and he says to me after the day, he says, Mike, you know everything about everybody. Everybody talked to you, did this, do that, and being a pool business, there's thousands of us out there, and if you don't change something to keep those persons for that $1 or that $5, you know, they're going to go somewhere else. And talking about change too, and changing, now putting more eco-friendly things inside of my pool business, inside of my chemicals. I'm not only, you know, talking about being green in the business and the electric and the solar and the gas. Now I'm living it. I'm living green, and that's a big important, not to only do it in one stage of your life. Really start doing it wherever you can. And when that passion comes out and you're really passionate about it, people are going to start to come to you. You're not going to have to go out and go try to find that new person right on your list. It's a law of attraction, and people are going to start coming to you. What is step 4, Bobby?
Step 4 is contact and invite.
And contact and invite, and, you know, people, I think it's the same way. Don't get on the phone and, you know, and be a robot and, you know, and start talking about the business right away. Don't necessarily also be so personal and ask about all their kids and everything. I believe, you know, the best way is being in a rush, getting on the phone, telling that person that you really are excited about a new business that you just got into. I really value your opinion. I only have a couple of minutes. When is there a good time to, you know, come and see you? It's only going to take a couple of minutes of your time. Well, Mike, what is it? Well, like I said, I'm in a real rush right now. You know, what day is good for you? Is it Tuesday at 7 o'clock? Is it Thursday at 2 o'clock? You know, switch your mind. Keep on going to something else. But also with that, you can't use the same thing every time. You gotta be a people person. You gotta know who you're talking to and what variation that you could use. But kind of, you know, listen to the guys around that are really doing it and contacting the invite and kind of make your own out of that. Step 5.
Oh, no, I want to,
Yeah, let's
no,
go on
no,
step
no,
4.
no,
He knows.
I want to tell everybody how I got my business launched without no previous experience. The business all comes down to relationships. That's all it comes down to. To make $1 million a year in this business, number one, you need to get belief. You need to not have any fear about what somebody else's opinion is going to mean to you. Number two, you just got to invite. It's a card game. There's 52 cards in every deck. Every time you expose somebody to a 13-minute video, you're flipping a card. There's 4 aces in every deck. Now you can put 20 people, what me and my wife did, the first week we got into the business, we went out and got our meters. We got 20 meters in 2 days. And then we started inviting people. We didn't know what we were talking about. We didn't know the business, but we knew to grow the business, we need to bond with a lot of other people and expose people to this opportunity. So we started inviting 20 people to our house. 12 would show up. We invited another 20. 13 showed up. We invited another 20. 12 showed up. That's how we got started. Now we have business in every state Viridian's in, and every state Viridian's gonna go in, we're gonna have business there. So what it comes down to, be a master promoter. Bond with people, write that big list like Tony and Mike talked about, and just invite people, something we do to be successful in our lives. It's about relationships. It's about finding those aces in that deck. They could be on the top of the deck. The first 4 cards you flip, you might find an ace. That's a person that's going to be willing to do the same thing. Say, Tony, I see this, man. I'm all about retirement in 4 years. I have the vision. I know a lot of people. I can put people in a room. And I'm willing to take action. Right? Because a lot of people know how to do it. But what happens? They have fear of being a social outcast around their friends or family. Ooh. That's what happens, because they're the people that are going to kick you in the gut. The people closest to you, your friends, your family. And the fact of the matter is, you're going to find out who your friends really are in this business. When you go to ask people for their meters, and Joe stops to 5 of his closest friends, say, hey, because the business is all about asking people for help. Hey Joe, I need your help, man. Me and my wife started a green energy company, and I'd really like you to support us. Being with our company for 1 year is equivalent to you and your family recycling at your house for 30 years. That's the magnitude, and I'm going to give you price protection. I know you trust me, so I'd really appreciate it if you become a customer of me and my wife. If he says no, what doesn't he like? Doesn't he like helping the environment? Does he like helping me? Does he like saving money? If they tell you no, they don't want to help you do anything. They're not your friends. It's as simple as that. You get it. It's a learning process, but you learn who your friends are. I had people I thought I was going to go to. Let me go around the corner and go by my buddy Tony's house, get his meters. Gave him this. Nah. We're going to stay with you till we don't. Which one don't you like? You don't like helping the environment? You don't like saving money? Or you don't like helping me? No, we just don't want to do it. To be quite honest with you, I don't go out to dinner with that guy no more. My landscaper that came to my house, I gave him 4 jobs, 4 big jobs, just off one phone call. Hey, use this guy. I went to him. Hey, I need your gas and electric bill. Sure, no problem, John. We talked to my wife. Come back next week. I pay him again, another $150. His guys come, cut my grass. Hey, I need your gas and electric bill. I saw him a 3rd time over by the Raceway gas station on 33. I say, dude, come here for a minute. He goes, not you with that gas and electric meter. I said, not me with that. Let me tell you something right now. If you don't have your gas and electric meter on my front porch, you're losing my account, and I'm picking up the phone just like I did to get you the jobs. You're going to lose 4 other accounts. He goes, you would do that to me? I said in a New York minute. All I'm trying to ask you for is to help me out and save you money, and it's going right over your head, so you can't be that good of a businessman. My wife calls me on a Friday, midday, said, John, they're here with the trucks. I said, did he bring the meters? Said, no. I said, tell him to stop. Don't take nothing off the truck. I came by, I said, no mas, guys. See you later. The guy called me up. I said, you not only lost my contract, but you lost the 4 other people because I had my friends that respect me call them up and tell them, you know, we're getting somebody else. If that's the way that guy wants to operate business, that's fine. But you know what? I'm patronize him. He should patronize me just like my wife goes to the hair salon. She could go to 100 different hair salons. She went to that person and says to the lady, I need your help. Gave her the same spiel. The lady says, my wife told her right up front, so listen, I have trust in you. I need you to have trust in me. There's 100 other people I can go to. I don't want to have to put you in that position, but I'm only trying to help you. And if you trust me like I trust you, you'll be a customer. Those 2 bills were in my wife's hand for the shop and for their house. It's as simple as that. If we're helping people, we put people on a spot. Tony's done the same thing. Kevin Verdon has done the same thing. Don't be bashful. We're doing something good. When you understand we're doing something good, it builds your belief and your confidence. Because guys, this thing's on the ground floor. 5 years from now, people are going to come up to you and say, hey Gilbert, you were in Veridian in 2015? That's what's going to happen. This is a grassroots movement that's starting. The company started off as a $2 million company and is now over $600 million. Our business partner is Elon Musk. He's on the cover of Fortune magazine. If people tell you this is a scam, shake their hand and go to the next person. Those people will never get out of their box. That will build your confidence. That'll get you thick skin. You need to have rhino skin to be a millionaire in this business. Nothing can bother you. Mike.
When you contact an invite, do you do one at a time or do you group them together? How do you do it?
I assess the personalities. If there's a guy that I feel or a woman that I feel is a powerful woman that I need to give one-on-one attention, I will go to them on a one-on-one basis and travel 2 hours. I've already went to New York City 5 times, got blown off on 3 appointments after spending the tolls, ruined the whole day. That started building my, as Tony calls it, my scar tissue, my thick skin. But you know, a lot of people, I'll invite 10 people over at once. It's a numbers game. What you lack in skills, you make up for in numbers. It's as simple as that. What you lack, yes, David.
I'd like to touch on, something that you said, Mike, which is so important. We're not running out there giving out business cards, and we're not going and contacting everybody we know and asking them, right off, do they want to go and become a millionaire? Do they want to go and build this huge business? What we're doing is we're planting seeds all over the place. And you never want to be that person where when somebody's phone rings and they see your number, they're like, oh, that energy guy, oh, he wants something from me. You want to be a great person. You want to go out there and let people feel your good energy. You want to go out there and let everybody know that you're a good person and you're somebody that they trust and they want to do business with. It's not about going out there and getting anybody. It's about going out there, like John says, and giving it away. And they need to feel that. And if you can convey that good energy and that trust, who's not going to want to come along with you?
Well, it's key too, because guys, what you have to understand is that I've had a lot of people that are close to me in my life come into my business. They didn't have the heart to do this. They got 2 no's or 3 no's and they curled up like a cheap suit, right? They didn't, because it all goes back to the why. Their why wasn't strong enough. I mean, anybody can do this business. I don't care what your ethnic background is, what your religion is, what your skin color is. Everybody's on a level playing field. That's the beauty about this bit. There's people of all walks of life doing this, and you can look at Live Veridian and look at the stories. Tony knows all the people that are doing it. Steve knows all the people that are doing it. Most of us in this business know the other people from different states. It's a giant family, and that's the beauty about this business. It's about building something that's very special. So when you contact people, like Tony said, don't make judgment on anybody. You're just sorting through people. If somebody tells you no, they're not telling Ray Rossi no. They're telling the opportunity no. Disconnect yourself from the outcome. The no's don't matter. And I want to just point something out. Bob Quintana, who used to be Tony Robbins' business partner, has been my personal mentor, never did this business before. He showed this 13-minute video to 146 people. 42 people signed up in his business. That means 104 people told him no. He didn't care. The guy's making $150,000 a month. Every morning he wakes up, he looks in the mirror and says, what do you want to do today, boss? He don't need an alarm clock anymore. He has financial freedom for him and his family for the rest of his life, and the fact of the matter is, this hasn't even started. That man will be making millions of dollars a month because he disconnected himself from the outcome. The no's weren't directed at him. They were directed at the opportunity because they just weren't the right people. You will find the right people if you have a big list, like Tony and Mike talked about, and you keep flipping those cards. And Steve Levy can attest to that. Steve Levy's business is starting to open up. He's over 7,000 meters in his business, and now he's getting balanced. So he's going to start moving up the ranks, and he's going to start being on stage at the power-ups because he had the vision, and he never stopped shopping. He never curled up and said, oh, this ain't for me. He knew what was going to happen, and he kept following through. Mike.
Two more things on Contact and Invite. We just came back from GoPro in October, and the guy that runs that is Eric Worre. And Eric Worre says, you know, it's new technology, there's a new way of getting in touch with people. Mostly when you call somebody on a phone, you can't get them, you know, they don't call you back. But if you text them right away, it's, okay, what are you doing? Right away someone, you know, gets you. So it's as simple as, do you want to have coffee? Can we meet up for lunch? I haven't talked to you for a while. And, you know, what we lack in skill, we make up in numbers. We could still do the same thing with that. And you could build some confidence because now you're starting to put some meetings in the funnel. And, you know, that worked for me. I don't know if it worked for John, if you've ever tried that, you know, texting. I know it worked for Bobby as well. And, you know, it's something you should maybe go home today and try and do 10 people and see what you get out of it. I'm sure you'll at least get a couple out of it. And then I want to have one more perspective on Contact and Invite. Tony, can you give us one more of what you say when you get on the phone?
What I say? Well, first what I do is I chunk my list. I chunk my list, like we talked about on Sundays. I'll get my five people for the week. I'm a little bit beyond being a new guy, so I'm down to 5. I focus on 5. And I set it on Sunday night. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go right through that list. When I do this, it's not one on Monday, one on Tuesday, it's 5 in a row. So what we know about today is if we call somebody, probably 2 out of those 3 are going to voicemail. But the reason why you want to do rapid fire like that is because it's uncomfortable for many of us to talk about this particular thing, contacting and inviting somebody. So the best thing you can do is kind of practice it a little bit, but don't sound rehearsed. Be the best that you can be. And I like to really get myself, and this may sound strange to you, but put some music on to uplift yourself. You got to move around a little bit, get the blood flowing, whatever you got to do, take a deep breath, and then get on the call. Okay. Hey, Mike, how are you, buddy?
Good.
I know it's your busy season. I'm busy too, but I need to show you something because I'm involved in a business that I would really love to get your opinion on. I've been thinking about you a lot, and I think it's important for me to get you in front of this video. And you know what? I only need about a half hour of your time. I can come to you, you can come to me. Would tomorrow at lunchtime work for you? Is at nighttime better?
What is it, Tony?
Mike, what I really need to do is, like I spoke to you earlier, I need to show this to you. Because I'm not going to do anything justice by talking to you on the phone. As a matter of fact, you know, if we talk, both of us are too busy for me to even get into it. So just give me a half hour of time. What's good for you?
Tomorrow, 7 o'clock.
All right, bud. See how we shifted out of that? We don't have to get into the minutia about anything. We just have to be truthful about the fact. What we want to do is we want to give him the opinion, okay? We want to get his opinion on something that we're excited about. We compliment him because, you know, I know you're busy. We set pace too, right? You're busy. Oh, I know you're a busy guy. And I'm a busy guy too, so that means I got to get off the phone. I want to get you off the phone. And that's why we're getting off the phone. Now, mistakes that I've made in the past, Ray, I'll get to you in a second.
Okay.
Is I get that, and then I'm like all relieved. It's like I got it out. So, how's the puppies? How's the kids? And now I extend the conversation, and what happens? The gates of hell have now reopened. Well, what is this about anyway? Forget about the puppies for a second. You're not in a rush anymore. Tell me what this is about. And then you get into that trap. I call that the gates of hell because what are you going to do? What are you going to talk about on the phone about this? It'd be like explaining Forrest Gump. It'll make no sense to anybody. You know, and that's what you want to do. You want to set pace. You want to get compliment them. You're a busy guy. I've always valued your opinion. You're a busy gal. You've always been successful. You want to set pace and compliment them. Go ahead, bro.
All right, my head almost blew off my shoulders. A couple of days ago, I'm talking to John. He says, get your meters, get your meters, get your meters, get your meters, right? We're at Sam Vera on Tuesday night. It's show the program, show the program, show the program, show the program. As my grandmother used to say, what are we doing first? You know what I'm saying? What are we doing? No, really, what did I say to you the other day? In both.
That's not hard. People say, oh, I have to get associates. I said, you can pick up the phone for an hour and block out an hour's time and make 15 phone calls and probably get 10 meters in 1 hour phone call. It's what you want to focus on. We have to do both, but essentially, we need to go out and get personal customers before, you know, if the opportunity persists, Ray, and you're with somebody that you know is a high quality person, you want to plant the seed and say, hey, I need to show you something because the opportunity persists right there.
Yeah, you see, now you said something very key, and I agree with you. You're overthinking it. Okay, but there is a methodology. There is a method to the madness. So all I'm asking is, what is the method? That's all. You see,
Action.
No, watch better. You see, don't mind me. I get, crazy. Tony said something to me. He says, listen, you don't even have to mention the business. You don't have to mention anything about green energy. As soon as you say something about energy, right away people, they have like maybe a misconception or something like that. So you don't, all you say, and this is, I guess, maybe all about show and program. All you're saying is, I have, let's say, you have some time for me, let's say, tomorrow, Thursday, what's good for you? I have to show you this program. It's something I'm very
I don't even get that,
jacked up about.
Ray, there's a lot of ways to go about it. I'm excited. The passion is what's going to hit people. Really, the passion. When you're excited about something, or Tony goes and says, I want to have a meeting with 10 sharp people in his restaurant in Manhattan. And he says, and he's excited, and he goes up to somebody and says, hey man, I'm having a get-together, a VIP get-together. You got to see what I'm involved with.
Mm-hmm.
That's all. Say no more. When they ask him, hey, what is it? Listen, man, I'm going to show you. I can't tell you. It's like trying to explain the movie Forrest Gump. I'm going to do you no justice. But here's the meeting, here's the time, or I need to meet with you one-on-one. If he has a sharp guy, see, you don't know where that's going to lead. If it's not for that person, then they'll be a customer, right? By you going through the process, and they say, you know what, Ray? The timing's not right for me now. Things ain't right. I got a lot of stuff going on, but I see this. So that no means not now. But then you say to them, if you see it, then I need you to be a customer of mine, right? You're making a difference. You're helping me out. You're helping the environment. You're saving money.
Right. So what I'm hearing, correct me if I'm wrong, and I think you will, is that 2 goes before 1. You want to show the program. Okay, I'm not interested in the program, so can I have you meet her?
I don't let anybody sit down with me in this room when me and my wife show them a video without them at least being a customer.
Okay.
And you know what?
You know what?
So
that tells me
Ray,
all I need to know.
Ray, it's a double-edged sword.
Yeah.
Right? Because certain times you're going to be, or Gilbert's going to be meeting with people, and like Tony says, we don't prejudge anyone.
Right.
But when you're meeting with that sharp person, you want to show them. All we're going to do to retire is show people 13-minute videos and shut our mouths. Yes, Tony.
Can you just do it this once? Just this once.
What?
What he just said. Just one time.
Do
What he just said.
What I just said.
About having them bring somebody here that's not a customer that he knows. Is that the situation? Just one time. And see if we could grab him.
No, you see,
from
well,
here.
he's talking
What-
about,
bring
bringing people in,
Oh yeah,
not
no.
this training session.
Oh yeah, that's what.
It's not about
Okay.
showing the
I
program.
thought you meant you wanted to bring
So
somebody.
everybody knows how many
No,
customers
okay.
we
No.
need in the whole business?
If you
Sorry,
heard,
sorry.
Let me revisit Ray again because, sit down, Mike, this is gonna be a while, I think. This is the classic question. This is the question I had. This is the question you folks, I'm sure, are pondering right now. All right, I want to do the business. I want to execute. What do I have to do, and in what sequence should I do it? Right. The best way to do it is we spoke about 8 customers, and you'll hear Joe Occhiogrosso speak about 8 customers. Because 8 customers brings you to a threshold where you can now actually hit the first building block. Okay, so that's the first sequence. And at 8 customers, you will get some money, which is an important part of building your trust and belief. Okay, if you hit the 8 customer threshold, just the way they show you, you're gonna get money. Okay, and when you get money piped into your account, and you see that this is real, then it becomes real to you, and now you can talk to confidently to other people about it. Make sense? Because it's real, right? So in that whole mix of a list, the A, B, and C, the C being the customer only, the B being the both that John has just talked about, the A being that, that A play, geez, if I get them, we can cure cancer and do everything, right? So if you take a look at that, Ray, and say that's you on the top, right? And say you get 9 customers. Okay, and while you're out, because it takes a while sometimes to set an appointment up with somebody who's a busy person, and you get them to eventually come into the business, okay? And you teach them how to get those 8 customers, and you teach the other person how to get 8 customers. Now you are mentoring them, and you're getting money for that mentoring because they're hitting their bonus. You will get a matching bonus kicked up to you. But now, more importantly, you've hit the first building block of this whole business called consulting. Because you have 25 organizational customers, okay? And you have 8 or more personal customers, okay? And you've hit the first building block. Now, the building block is what makes everything. What makes directors and partners and diamond partners, ambassadors. It's a series of these pieces being put together inside your business. I don't know if that helps answer the question, but and the other thing how this is different than other network marketing companies is once you hit the top ranks of the company, you're only required to have 25 personally sponsored customers. Okay, so you could do that now, or you could do that, kind of as you go. But remembering the fact that there's no requirement that on each month I have to produce X amount of customers. Because those customers are on autopilot.
Right.
Every time they pay the bill, the commission check comes to you. So you really, and I think the important thing about looking at 8 is it's not an intimidating number. Like I could put 32 up there. I think that would intimidate people. Maybe some people wouldn't be intimidated. 16 gas and 16 electric. Now, if it was, you could say 40%, then it would not be intimidating because you'd want to help as many people as possible. But let's just put 8 up there. It doesn't look intimidating because it's you plus 7 other people. And can you teach 2 other sharp people how to do that? And then they do the same thing. That's how you build this whole collective, this organization. So it is the behavior. The behavior is acquiring customers because it's the only way you get paid. You don't get paid for recruiting. So you should learn how to become your own first customer, teach some other folks how to do it, okay, and then get some comfort level, a little bit of expertise in doing that, not much, and then we can, you know, with your coach and your mentor, go out and show the program to a few people. Okay.
So again, just to go back, because
Sure.
a little bit of a.
No, that's fine. It's great.
Okay, you're going to get meters,
Mm-hmm.
correct?
Yeah, that's it.
That's what I said to John on
He's the greatest meter collector of all time. Miss Elisa, go ahead.
Yes, can I say something, please? Because I want to just help. In this business, you have to see where you're at. Okay, I'll give you an example. Like
Why
if
don't you
you're
come up here,
brand,
Nick
if you're brand new, like a Will's or her husband, or you know, we have to teach you as your sponsor and your mentor that there's bonuses out there. The company, you pay a fee to come in, but there's a way to triple that, quadruple that. And this month alone, which is not like every month, they're giving money for meters. So it's $10 to $30 depending on how many customers you get in. And if you start new, you have a fast start bonus. And that's out there so that you can get your feet wet and get out there and get used to getting no's and you know, getting yeses and helping people. So I would say, my opinion is, if you're brand new and you just came on board, is to learn how to get those customers in yourself, your first customer, but you're gonna focus on who can I help and how can I get my bonus, my fast start bonus, as quickly as I can.
Let's talk about quickly. How quickly did you I mean, you did one day, you decided I'm going to go somewhere.
I
and
did it in 2 days, 32 customers.
What?
Now,
We're not talking about process.
Now, I just came back from Puerto Rico, and Tony DePolo, my fabulous upline, told me I need 68 meters to become a director. The only 3 days I've been here, I believe I'm doing my math, and when I'm down to like 45, 35 customers. So if you do the math, I've already gotten 30, 40 customers in 3 days. So it's all where your mind, that's what I'm trying to say, it's all where your mind is focused, what your goal is, what is it that you want out of this business. But the beauty is you can work both. You can, don't focus your head like, oh, I only have to show the plan, or oh, I only have to get meters, unless that's your initial goal. But again, if you just started, I don't tell any of my people 8 and 8. That's great, Tony. It's true. It's attainable. But if you want to get the most out of this business, you want to get 16 electric, 16 gas. That's $900, and that's not even. He could do the math with the with the April bonus. What's they get 32.
That's an extra
getting
$900. It's
$30,
like
right?
it's like $2,000. Yeah.
Yeah. So instead of the 900 I got, which tripled, someone new can make $2,000. That's what I want to go over with her. But you want to focus on that because the deadline is April 30th. So this fabulous company gives you promotions that you have to take advantage of because you have only until April 30th. And whether the people are busy or not, your focus, if your focus is on getting customers, it's getting customers. Now, if you're in his position or someone else would think, then you're going to make appointments. And as John says, you lead with the plan because you already put that aside. You got that out of the way. So you show the video, and if they do not want to come into your business, you expose them to a second exposure, which will be Sam Vera or here, and then they could be your customer. I'm gonna be honest, Will is here. I met with her in the outlets to get her meters. Okay, so things are happening. I got 3 more people like that. I was getting her as a customer. She asked me a bunch of questions about the business, and I'm one that honestly I can answer all her questions. And I can talk about the business, and I'm a recruiter by nature. So I could brought her in that day and recruit her. However, why didn't I do that? It's not duplicatable. I have to show her the right way so that she can come in the right way and do. So I told her, can you go home with your husband, let me know when you're sitting by the computer. I'm going to show you this. And I talked about Lil and John, just that I have a fabulous couple. You guys are a couple that will answer your questions. And yesterday she watched the video. She spoke to John yesterday. She came here today. But how do you know how I precede her? She already has 5 solars. She has 5 meters. And I just sat with her on Thursday. So if you can't do it, I'll tell you one thing. You lead by example. If you are not out there either showing the plan or getting customers, it's hard for you to tell your downline to do that if you're not doing it. You gotta lead. But when you get to his position, he doesn't have to worry about meters. He doesn't really have to worry about customers. If they come because they say no to him, he just takes them. So if you're new and you're building, the higher, I say go for 32, even if it takes you to 8 weeks. Your goal should be 32 because people will fall off, drop off, or they won't, they'll cancel, and you'll get to 25 easy. My personal count is 40. I have 40 customers myself, but I'm helping my downline as well, so definitely getting more customers. But you could do both. That's
Okay.
what I'm trying to say.
Alright, but when you say customers, you're not talking associates necessarily.
No, customers are meters, right?
That's all.
So
Yeah,
here,
it's-
if you
part
could
of
put
the
this,
verbiage.
you could do this in an afternoon, you could get your customer.
Right.
I do phone calls.
Mm-hmm.
I sometimes email them the video, like customer video, the Freedom or the
Yeah,
solar,
right.
depending what I want. I don't email of course, one thing I know they talk, I don't talk about the opportunity to anyone. That's one thing I keep that's what's gold here. I don't talk about the opportunity. I don't email the plan. I don't send them to the plan. That's all, if you want more information, give me 15 minutes. And that's for them to see the plan and then let them, speak to the third
So
party.
as David said, you planted the seed.
I plant the seed, correct. I have something for you that I think you would be great at. I value your opinion. That's for later. And if honestly, if they became my customer and then they join later, I'll help them go out. Like they gave me, I have a lot of associates that I have their solars and I have their meters. So then I'll tell them, come on, let's go out and I'll help you get the 2 or 3 that you gave me. Because you gotta see what you need now. Because like he said, people are busy. So if I'm trying to get Mike and he doesn't sit with me for a month and a half, my April 30th for getting my money for my meters is gone. So I have to get something. Yesterday I went to my godmother's house and she's like, I told you today's not a good day. I said, but I need those meters right now. I was like, I'm sorry. She just went in her bag and threw it. She said, here, put 'em in. I said, I need a license. Here's my license. And I was like, thank you, I love you. I took my kids and I ran out of there. And the third party that I did with her, my kids were in the back seat. I have twins. So you make this, work around your life. And I told my twins, please, if you're quiet, you get a prize. Mommy has to do something. You're going to hear this guy talk on the phone, Big John. And they were quiet like this. So it really fits into, then I went to New York and I got 3 more meters. And honestly, I will tell you, we're getting $10 or $30 a meter. At this point, I went to Punch, tell people, I'll give you $5 to get me a meter. If I can give them half, just help me. But really what they're doing is referring their mother-in-law, their mother, their father. But what it means to you to reach your bonus or to move up is just about what Bob Q did. Keep flipping through those cards. People do curl up with getting 5 no's, 10 no's, they quit. It's not for me.
Two
It's
no.
not for me.
One no. Oh.
It's not for me. I got a lot of no's. I got people know that I do exactly what John said. I said, so, okay, before I leave, I just want to recap. You're saying no to green energy. You're saying no to helping the environment. You're saying no to savings. And you're saying no to me, correct? When you change your mind, call me back. Bye. And I just walk out because it's just, but I get, then you got to go. Don't stay on a no. I say that. Go to a high, call one of us or listen to a call because it'll motivate you.
Yeah, that's important, right? Because when you and anybody in this room, if something doesn't go right, and things will not go right, and you're gonna feel down, right away reach out. Reach out.
I went to a lady who's a buy and sell. I went in there for 3 meters. She gave me 5.
Tony,
5.
on the way here, I was listening to a Zig Ziglar podcast. He basically teaches how we need to go. We're so used to wanting things to go right. We need to start expecting things to not go right. And we need to have a plan. Like when we're driving in the car, we need to expect people to cut us off and have a plan as to what we're going to do. So if you expect people to say no, well then thank you so much and keep it moving. Who cares?
Like Mike,
Who
the
cares?
other day, Mike had a conversation with a guy who's been building up in Ohio, and this guy's building a conversation, and he tells Mike that he quit. Right? Heartbreaking. Mike just spent a fortune going out there. Right? Fortune. A week of time away from his business and his family. Heartbreaking. Right? Now, it's not like I can go drive to Sayreville and talk to him. This is, this guy lives in Kentucky, not even in Ohio. So what does Mike do? I mean, he just got kicked, right? Mike calls me up, right? And I give him whatever I can. Tough love. But I tell John what happened too, and John circles back around it because it's very important in his mindset, the psychology, when you get kicked, and kicked that hard, it's very important that he reached right out. That he was smart enough to reach right out and not let it fester and look in the mirror and say, you know what, I'm a loser, I can't do anything right, and then all the negative thoughts come in. This business is not for me, I don't know what I'm doing, blah, blah, blah. And, that's...
And then sometimes you just go under your covers and before you know it's the end of the month, the end of the next month,
Yeah, and we have a plan for this guy. We're gonna talk to him on Monday. Hey, just hope everything is okay. You're all right, and just stay in touch because people do quit. I've probably quit 12, 15 times. You know, it's just, you quit, but quitting is a permanent solution to a temporary issue, and the guy's having a temporary issue. So that's that part of it. I'm glad you brought that up, how when things don't go right, make sure you call up. Yes, ma'am.
For everybody here, my name is Awilda. I mean, I've been doing my own business now for like 17 years as a real estate broker, but I'm hearing and I'm listening to you, but it's all about comfort zone. If you're not getting out of your comfort zone, you're not looking for convenience. This is not about convenience. This is about you setting your goals. This is about you getting out of your comfort zone to meet those goals, because that's what's going to help you attain your why.
Wow.
Yeah. Getting out of your own way.
David,
Yes.
you're the best story that I know out of 4,000 of my associates in my business.
Thank you.
Our associates. How'd you get uncomfortable, David? What you couldn't do for a year?
What I did was I got around the people as often as I possibly could. I plugged into all of the great calls that we have on a regular basis, and I listened to between 1 and 3 hours of self-help books, whether it be Tony Robbins or Zig Ziglar or 100 other ones, podcasts all the time, because we're programmed, our brains are actually wired to think negatively, and we have to teach ourselves to think positively. And positive thinking won't do anything, but it will do everything better than negative thinking. So if you can go and implement some positive thinking into your life, it's not going to go I can't go into surgery and go and give somebody open heart surgery with the best thinking in the world, but if I think about it enough, I can find the right doctor. I don't know if that's a really good analogy, but the bottom line is that we are where we are in our life because of the thoughts that we've had and because of everything we're telling ourselves. So, if you start telling yourself some better things, and you start reading some new books and spending time with people that are going places different than what you've done in the past, watch where your life will take you.
Great.
That's what you said.
Thank you.
All right, a couple of things. Everybody should have this already. Your text this. I am Gen V to 96,000, and that's Veridian's new text messaging system. Whenever there's a call, okay, a Monday night call, you're gonna get, it's cool, 15 minutes before. This way you're not wondering, oh geez, what time is it? No, they're gonna text it to you, they're gonna text you the number, and that's all you have to do for that. And then this is a helpful thing to be an email subscriber to hear, and this is just to get started. GoGreenPowerCo.com. That's Joe Occhiogrosso and Frank Marone's website, okay? And what they'll do is they'll keep you in email contact when their calls are, and their calls are every Tuesday and Thursday at 8 a.m., but they're also taped as well. That helps keep you in the loop, and I think a few folks have talked about staying on the call, staying plugged in. There's much more than that, but I want to keep things kind of streamlined and simple because I know we have several new people in the room right now. Now, the hardest part is over, believe it or not. All this yapping here has led up to the big show the program thing. And that means if you can press a button or have someone else press a button, you're done. And you don't have to do anything after that. So, there's several ways to do this. It's ViridianPresentation.info. And know how to spell Veridian, new people. It's VIRIDIAN. Okay? Yep, ViridianPresentation.info. Now, that could drive you crazy if you're using a laptop and you're going into an office. Hey, what's your Wi-Fi? No, we have a secure network. You can also download it out of your back office onto your hard drive, okay? Which I suggest you do if you use a laptop or a desktop. But there's also Droid and Apple. There's podcasts, but there's also the app, the Veridian Toolkit, Veridian Toolkit 2.0. You get that app, it's free. And then all the videos and all the presentations can be downloaded to the hard drive of your tablet. Okay? So you can actually be in a bunker somewhere and show a prisoner the video.
2.0.
Wow.
2.0. Yeah.
I mean, I've made all the mistakes. I went to the I had the laptop, I had the seat. We used to have DVDs, right? Now going to DVD, well, we don't have a DVD player, or there's only, this is in the European code. All those problems I've had, so they made it pretty easy. And now with, you know, most people have 4G on the phone, and phones are big enough to play the video on, actually, okay? That you can actually just go ViridianPresentation.info, you can even download it to your phone.
Tone, I want to tell, while we're on this note, I want to tell one story about George Schiaffano. George Schiaffano is a guy that's 60 years old that came into the business. He was a real estate broker in the state of Maryland. He was going through tough times in his business, but he had 48 real estate agents underneath him at his firm. He, right out of the gate, he said to every one of them, he had a meeting at his office with 48 people, said, I got to show you this opportunity. 32 of them signed up in his business. He never fully plugged into the business, but a lot of people he did. Remember, you don't need to find a bunch of superstars. You need to find 4 aces. Out of those 32 people, 4 people became aces. What does that mean? They started doing their own meetings. They started seeing the big picture. They started putting people in their living rooms, in their basements, around their kitchen table. This guy, George Schiaffano, made platinum partner in a year and a half. What does that mean? He was making about $15,000 a month. But here's the magic to this business, and here's the magic to George's story. He had a heart attack, had a quadruple bypass. He was late out of work for 2 years. He was getting that $15,000, $16,000 a month every time. Can you imagine if he didn't take this opportunity seriously, what his life would have been like knowing that he had this medical condition? He couldn't function, he couldn't work. He looked at me and said, John, this took all the stress out of my life. He is now, his health is back up, he's growing the business further, he's doing meetings again. But I just want that to resonate with each and every one of you, because we don't know what tomorrow brings to us, but I can sure to hell tell you that today, if you make a commitment, right? We all made a choice to swipe our credit card to sign up. That's a choice. When you make a decision, that means in your mind you will never stop. Just like we make a decision to go to work and make somebody else rich. When you make that decision here and say, this is a 4-year plan, not a 4-week plan, not a 4-month plan, and you have that vision of 4 years and you take massive action, you're going to have the same story that George Schiaffano had. Because you're giving people a potential gift, if they accept it as a gift. The ones that don't and try to scrutinize you, they're going to scrutinize everybody. Any opportunity that comes their way, they're just not the right people for this opportunity.
Show the plan, right?
Show the program.
All right, so we gave you the links on where you can go show the program, correct? Now, Tony just said that you hit play. It's a little bit, we'll get a little bit more intricate into that because there's several ways that you could do it. You could do it face to face, belly to belly, the best way if you could do that. But if you see that it's too finding, like I wanted to show her the plan yesterday so she can be here today in her best interest. So if you could do it over the phone, it's okay. But never release, again, text, email. Don't give this link to anyone before time. Make sure that they're sitting at their computer if you're doing it over the phone, and give it to them then and hear them hit play. I stayed on the phone with her. I heard the entire video and I was able to let John know when we was towards the end. So I know, one, I'm not saying they're this type of person to do this, but think ahead of time. People could just say, oh, someone talked to us about this already. Oh, dude, we're not interested. And they'll stop the video and do it, but you know because you're hearing it. And we know it's 13 minutes. So out of respect to them, show them you have that courtesy. I say stay on the phone. And then you gotta mute. That's what I do. I do mute my phone until I know that they're done. So that's doing it on the phone. You should definitely give them that common courtesy and stay with them while they're watching the video. If you're face to face, John says this all the time. He'd rather stick toothpicks in his eyes. If you see this video, I know every time John's house is coming up, Lela, him, the dogs are coming out. I know the video, like, but if I'm showing him the video and I'm texting or emailing or go out for, if you smoke cigarettes, because I see people do this, I don't smoke, go out for a cigarette break or go hang out, he's gonna take that video as serious as I'm taking him. So we have to give him the common courtesy. If we're really passionate, because that's how I approach people. I'm passionate about something that I really want to share with you. They don't know what it is. Just give it 15 minutes. They're so excited. Show me, what is it? What is it? Wait, when you have 15 minutes. So definitely square out that time. But if he's watching the video face to face, sit there, focus, watch it with them, and do not distract until, give them a paper. I give people a paper and a pen. If you have any questions, please write them down. Because I've had people want to talk to me. No, not now. Watching the video. Like you two have to, no matter what they're telling you, no, we gotta watch the video. Because if you stay laser focused on what you came here for, again, Bob Q knows, and what happened to him, you get 40 in. I'm sure they train all 40, but 10 are gonna quit, 10 are gonna do good, and the other 10 are just gonna disappear. But you want to invest in everyone and show your passion. Stay focused, stay committed, and follow the plan. Which, so if I get John to do my third party, I'm gonna tell John, I'm gonna show it to Wilda at 3 o'clock. So this is the planning that everyone should do. Common courtesy to the third party, common courtesy to the person and to yourself. To run this like a business and not like a hobby. As he says, hobbies we spend money, business we make money. So I'm gonna tell John, I'm showing it to Wilda at 3 p.m. tentatively. So 3, 2:30, 2:45, I'm making him a little brief analysis on Wilda and her husband, just so that he understands who he's talking to, a little background. If it's not going, I have to respect his time and say, John, it's going to 3:30, 4 o'clock, or it's got canceled, rescheduled. So that he knows, let me go with Lela, let me do this, let me get on another call, Michelisa doesn't need me anymore. And again, he'll be more than gracious to do it again if we continue to respect him and his time the same way I do third party calls. You want the same respect. So once we got that down pat, 3 o'clock, your 3 o'clock, whether I'm face to face or on the phone, we're gonna just hit play. Any questions are on paper. Don't answer any questions and just say my business partner is waiting for my call and is ready and able to answer all your questions.
So, here's where we escalate. Perfect job, Michelisa. Here's a quick recap. To be successful in this business, we don't have to be an expert. We don't, not even close to it. We got to know how to get people's attention, sit down in front of a video, whether or not you want to do it big, you can put 15 people in your living room. Hey, these guys might want to listen to this, guys. These guys, let me know these guys are.
I'm sorry.
No, Chuck. These guys are young.
I want to know about the video.
Courtesy stuff.
Go to passing notes, don't worry.
So, really, let's recap this. I want to keep it simple because this Joe Occhiogrosso, a guy he owns All Pro Title. He's partners with Bart Oates, the former football player in the New York Giants. He's a lawyer in North Jersey. He's making over $250,000 a month in his business by putting 50 people in a room, showing them an opportunity. These are lawyers, real estate brokers, mortgage guys, hedge fund owners, school bus drivers, stay-at-home moms. He says, John, the only reason I'm making more money, because I've shown that video 20 times more than anybody in this business. I just keep putting people in a room, I keep doing it professionally, expose them to a video, I shut my mouth, I let the video do the talking. And that's what Michelisa saying. But what Michelisa did perfectly yesterday is she got on the phone and she edified. She edified Gilbert and his wife and said, John, very, very sharp people, which they are. Very hungry people. She gave me a little background prior to the call. And then she edified me to them. Said John and his wife, they own an environmental company, very successful, number 6 players in this entire company. And then what did she do? She did what you're supposed to. She shut her mouth, made the introduction, and let me ask the questions and tell my story. Guys, if you follow that process, let somebody else do all the heavy lifting. You don't need to be an expert. You'll never get in a situation where you need to be an expert and get nervous if you follow the process. Show a video. It sounds dumb. Dumb it down. Dumb it down. Show a video. Have somebody set up for a third-party call. Remember, you're in business for yourself. You're never, ever, ever in business by yourself. If Gilbert's in real estate and his wife's in real estate, nobody from another company is going to help them. They're on their own. People might be trying to steal their deals behind their back. That's the way corporate America is. Not in this business. If you want to be the squeaky wheel, you're going to get the grease from every top leader. They're going to know who you are, but you got to take massive action and don't care. Don't care about the outcome. If you have that mindset and you're hungry, I'm telling you guys, 4 to 5 years, you'll be off on an island somewhere, living the life of your dreams by showing other people how to build the business. Remember, the more people we help become successful, the more successful we become. That's why my wife and I open up our house to everybody and want to train as many. That's why we speak all over the country now to different groups. And we didn't know these people 2 years ago. It's not who you know, it's who other people know that will be part of your life.
Just to finalize, how did John know that Wilder and Gilbert hit play? I texted him the word NOW. Okay, so that's one thing that we all know Viridian language. STP is show the plan. So now is another word. If anyone you have that's gonna do your third party, once you text them the word now, they look at their watch, they look at their cell phone. In 13 minutes, they make themselves free to get on that call. Now again, no matter what's going on, the person wants to ask me anything, I tell them no, we have to make this call first. You can talk to me after. And I'm gonna tell you why, because I have twins, I just told you, and I'm busy, and I tell them in 13 minutes, mommy gotta take a call. Yesterday I stopped a call to do for Anthony, who's in Mario's line, and I stopped the conversation with my family and stepped out. So the same thing, and I have somebody in my team that shows 3, 4, 5 videos, and I wanna know what videos he's showing now means 13 minutes. You know, so really respect the person is what I'm saying. You do now, the person that's gonna do your call is expecting a call in 13 minutes. So stop everything like there's a fire going on and dial the phone number. Say all of that can wait. Let's say John, we all know John, it's great, he's motivational, but let's say John didn't know that much. That's your third party that I chose. And he forgets a lot of things and he doesn't have this. The respectful thing is do not cut off your third party person. You chose him to do the third party, allow him to answer everything, allow him to say, because if you start cutting him off, how does that look to the person that's just edified this guy? So you edified him and now you're cutting him off and correcting him. Just let him do what he has to do, what he's there to do. And then later, maybe in training or after they come into your business, you can elaborate further and talk from your heart and tell them your story. But always, if you pick somebody to be a third party, you make the conversation go longer and then that person will do what you did. Well, the person was cutting that person off. They were talking. They answered my questions. So if you want a strong team, do it correctly, do it the way we're telling you, and that is duplicatable. Everyone in your downline will do the same thing.
Great job. All right, next step. Step 6 is follow up and follow through. People are not always going to make a decision the first time. They're not going to make a decision. We have people that come into our business that say no at first or maybe say, let me think about it. You always want to keep in contact. And one of the ways to do that, if I was to show Joe the business yesterday, and Joe says, John, let me think about it, I would give Joe something. I would say, hey, go look at the videos on liveviridian.com. And then I would say to him, hey, Joe, would it be okay? Would it be okay? Keywords. Would it be okay if I call you within the next couple days? Sure, John. Usually when you ask somebody for permission, they're going to tell you it's okay. So you want to keep notations in your book. All right, I got to get back to Joe by Tuesday. Follow up, follow through. Keep people connected. It's going to take 2 to 3 exposures normally. It could be showing a video, making a third-party call, getting people to a meeting, getting people to a training, getting people on a conference call before they make a decision, right? And then when they make a decision, even if they say no, the timing's not right, trust me, when people see that you're having success and you keep in contact with them, the timing might change in their life. They might get laid, they might have got laid off. They might have had a bad experience at work, knowing that their job is not their future. They might see a different light. So the key is follow up and follow through. Give people something to connect with. Give them a video. Let them see the trips that we do all over the world. My wife and I have been on so many trips already with this company. Let people know what else is out there, the culture of this company, right? Invite people to a meeting. Invite them to a training. Get them on the conference calls, the Cup of Joe O call in the morning. Remember, when you start building a team, anybody can bring people in the business. It's about keeping people in the business, building their belief by letting them borrow yours, right? So it's about connecting, like Tony said and Mike said. You want to know everybody that comes into business. You want to care about them and their families. You want to keep guiding them in the right direction. And really what it comes down to, all we're doing is bonding with people. All this business is about is making connections with people and leading them, right? If you want to be a leader in this business, you got to connect with the people that you bring into your organization. Is everybody going to do it? Nah. Nobody's going to do anything. It's just like a sales team. I'm sure you see it in your real estate business. 20% of the people will be the shining stars of that business out of 100%. 80% of people just do it nonchalant. They have no driving force behind them. It's about how much are you willing to change about you to make this a special opportunity in 4 years. It takes sacrifice, it takes effort, and it takes never making an excuse. The people that make an excuse, they just want to work the rest of their life and be at somebody else's mercy.
Another thing I want to say is that if you expect the objections to come, you'll be ready for them. Like, know the objections are coming, know people are going to say no, and know people are watching you. Because John has, a lot of people have told him no. I remember Bob Q's story. He told his dentist, and then when he went back, the dentist said, yeah, how's that green thing working? And when he told the dentist he's making more than he is making, you know, people are watching you to see if you really were that passionate or if you quit that green energy thing. And if they see your passion then and your passion is still going on, they're going to be quicker to be the solar referral for you that now people could help you. Or, as he says, if you follow up and follow through, hey, I just want to let you know, we have, so you keep them in the loop of what we have coming out new. They might say, you know what, I want to take a second look at this. I want to come to an opportunity meeting now. So, you thank them for the time, and if you don't invest that much time, just to hit the play, let the other person do the lifting, so just let them be a customer or let them be a referral, and just keep on going like you expected that no, because you can't be crushed, because then you'll stop going forward.
Step 7, Nicolisa, what is it?
Consult your coach.
Ah, Nicolisa.
I don't know that by memory.
Consult your coach.
All right. Okay.
And what this is about, I said before, you're in business for yourself. You're never, ever, ever in business by yourself. And it's a factual statement. If people want to hit this business and hit it hard, you use your upline, right? Joe, you have Steve Levy as your direct upline. You have me and my wife above that. If you want to be the squeaky wheel, a guy that really you're gonna get Bob Quintana's attention, Joe O and Frank Marone's attention. All you gotta do is knock on doors and get those doors open, and we'll come in and support you. You don't need to be an expert, right? So when you consult your coach, if you have a problem or you're running into a couple of obstacles, get on the phone with your upline. People think in this, oh, John, I'm sorry to bother me. No, when I have people calling me, that means they genuinely care and they have a driving force to grow their business. Everybody wants to hear from their downline. And you need to know that we're out there to help you, right? And not about little stupid things. Not, something I can't find this. Learn your website. It's very simple to put customers in. But when it comes to different obstacles, hey, I want to do a home meeting. When people call me and my wife up and say, I want to put 30 people in a room, you know what they're doing? I'm doing? That person is thinking big and they're dreaming big. And they're taking action. They're the ones that are going to blow this business up. We'll go and support them. Like David De Jesus, if you want to have a meeting, And you have people that speak Spanish. David De Jesus and Michelisa would come with me and my wife. We'll help you grow your business. All you gotta do is hand out bottles of Poland spring water and introduce us to everybody. We're gonna help you grow your business, unlike people in traditional business. Right? We're there to help. We're here to do it as a team. Console your coach, not by yourself, duplicate. Step 8. Did she ask you what step 8 was? Lisa. And then step 8 is just what you learned. Use it, teach it, and repeat it. It's very simple. It's an 8-step process. We don't want to And the last thing we're going to do is we're going to talk 5 minutes about customer acquisition, and we're going to end it, and then we're going to split up. I'm going to have Tony come in. Hey, Tony, you want to come in for this by talking about customer acquisition? No, you want to come up with Tony? Come up with Tony.
Michelisa, you stay up there. You're the best in the business.
Yeah, no, let Nicholas do it. She really isn't that
Everybody buys electricity, correct? In this room, yes?
Yes.
You all have, well, maybe some of you live on the farm and you don't have natural gas. That's true. Some people have propane and oil, and so everybody is buying electricity already, correct? We don't have to convince you, hey, electricity is a good idea. You should have it in your house. You can get things like lights and you can plug things in. That thing doesn't happen. If you sell cosmetics, you may or may not use cosmetics. I would have to convince you, or a weight loss product. I would have to convince you, wouldn't that be nice if you would buy this? No, you're buying this already. You're buying your electricity already. And you know what? You have a right to choose wherever that electricity comes from. Why don't you help me out, go green, and get price predictability? Nothing is going to change, nothing's going to affect. In fact, you're going to really help me out. You're going to really help the environment. And you know what? You're going to have price predictability and save money over the long haul. Is that a good idea? Would you go for that?
Yes.
Does that make sense? Am I trying to hurt you in any way?
No.
And guess what? This is
Free.
free! Free!
Free is for me.
If it's free, it's for me.
Is that simple? You're buying it already. There's no like, hey, I have a thing. It's a box of electricity, and you have to buy this box every month. That's not the way we operate. It's a one-time thing. One-time thing. Once you go green, help me, price predictability, and save some money over time. That's all you have to do. Please? I've been getting my hair cut here for 25 freaking years.
Yeah.
This is the least you can do for me, and it's not going to cost you anything. Or else I'm going to Tulio down the block. Yeah. What do you got, Nick?
It's exactly what Tony said. Keep it simple, be honest, and let them know exactly that it would benefit them. But at the same time, if you see that you need, I say don't say too much. If you could just say those simple words, like I go out there and I say, I'm involved in this green energy business, or I'm involved in a mission base, whatever you feel, and I have a goal this week to help. I don't say I have a goal to get 8 customers. That's one word I don't get, but I say to help 8 customers.
Sure.
That's why, so that they see it, and I want to help you. But if you find that they're holding back, or you don't get that yes right away because it wasn't your customer or something, I sometimes say, could you at least take out your electric and gas bill and let me teach you how to read it?
Now, don't do what I did.
What is that?
Don't become the expert. Have you seen the windmills in
don't
Atlantic
do
City?
that. Don't do that.
Do you realize that the production of electricity causes more? And now you're into this, you're teaching and preaching, and people want to just leave the room and run away from you.
But let's teach them. You are gonna meet people. Like the lady that gave me the 5 bills, believe it or not, her landlord put her in Viridian, and she got burned. And her husband hates Viridian, but she was like, "I want to help you." I was like, if you give me those 3 bills, she gave me 5. I was like, oh my God, I could kiss you. I'm like, boyfriend. But honestly, I told you, me personally. I will stay on top of this. You will get a letter. You want to let them know what's going to happen this time around. You're going to get a letter from Viridian. I'm also going to come and let you know when your 3 years are of this freedom. And I will let you know what's the rate at that time. I won't allow you to go variable. So sometimes if people are like, no, I got burned by this energy company. Wilda's a prime example. She got North American Power, so her 7 to 8 cents. When I looked at her bill the other day, she was at $19.99. So honestly, guys, we could help so many people that don't know what their kilowatts or what their therms are at, and let them know that if for some reason, this is how I protect it, if we're a little bit higher or whatever, I say for some reason this CEO is out of his mind, he's crazy, he's the pro, not me, that studies this, he's saying what the increases that are happening, you know, in Massachusetts, Rhode Island, are coming here, and I make the comparison with the gas, how it went from 99 cents to $4, did we ever see that coming? We say we're going to give you protection with a rebate of 110%. How can you go wrong on that? I'm helping you save. I'm also connecting with you, giving you emails at the company every month on how your usage is going, how much you're saving, and I'm going to give you not 100. Hear this one, I go 110. So you can make 10% interest if we're wrong.
Now you don't have to throw all that out.
You don't have to, but what I'm
no,
if they say
eventually
no.
it's going to stick to you. You'll be
Yeah.
able to overcome some of the objections with that, and you know. And here's what, and I know some of the new people just went like this. She says, well, this person was in Viridian and she got destroyed and she hates Viridian. Well, why? Well, because look,
The variable.
anybody can come into this business, really. There is no, you know, credit checks, background checks, nothing. No lie detector test you have to take.
Right.
Anybody can come in, pay their money. Sometimes it's $99. If you're a veteran, it's free, and they can come in. And what do people sometimes do? Is they're with they just want they go out, they get a few meters, and they quit.
They quit.
Okay, and then they have this business with say 10 customers in it, and they just say, screw it, I'll do something else. And what happens to those customers that trusted in them? Right? Those contracts expire. They never went back and said, hey, your contract should be coming up, just be on the lookout in the mail. Those people trusted them and they let that go. And then that was the disaster, that the contracts had lapsed, the polar vortex had hit, our customer service and our software platform failed, and people were put onto a variable rate, okay? And now they're paying, you know, triple what they should be paying. And that really comes back to the associate. It really comes back to that business builder. So if you do hear those stories, say, yeah, I understand how you feel. Be empathetic about it. Don't say that's not true.
We're better, I'm better on this. Just do, you know, feel what they feel and let them know why you are not going to allow this to happen.
Yeah.
You know, to them
You
as
know
them
me.
being your customer. You know me. We'll diary this for and if they really so against it, put them in a 12-month. 6 months, you know, if we have, depending what it is, gas, we have 6 months now. If they want to do it, if you have a 12 month, depending on the market, or they want to do the flex,
Right.
there's different things just to at least get the trust, and then see where.
So in this particular market in New Jersey natural gas right now, we do have a value for gas,
34.
and we have a value for electricity. But it's a small window we're dealing with here with the natural gas, because who's using a lot of natural gas in the summer? So you give them a value of $34.99. You can get your bonus money, you can get your customers up. But you know what you're going to do is you're going to, and we'll teach you know how to do this, is if someone becomes a gas customer today, the probability that in 2 months they go live, just set it in your phone that your 6 month is going to probably be up in November or December, and this way you can just check back, hey, you should be getting a renewal letter, have you gotten it, and just follow up with them. Because if there's another plan to put them in, we don't want them to expire off of that, okay? We want them to either stay on a contract, or in my case, I've taken 500 customers out on my own decision, get out of natural gas. I purposely took my business down because I think in the long run, I preserved my integrity and my team's integrity by doing that, and I will recoup those, you know, what I lost, I will recoup tenfold going forward. So you that's why we're not asked to do too much, right? 25 personal customers, 30, 34, it's something that's manageable. And if you got solar customers, you don't have to worry about any of that crap. Hey, did you clean your panels today? Did you do this? Did the sun come up? I'm just checking. You don't have to worry about any of that with solar. That's the cool part. That's a 20-year lockdown. I'll be dead by the time those contracts expire. But the other stuff, there's, and you really don't even have to manage it. I'm pretty confident that Viridian going forward will be able to manage it for us. But continue to be involved with those customers, okay? They want to hear from you. They became your customer because they like you and they trust you. They saw a value proposition. And you know what? We're going to have more products coming down the line, so continue to grow that relationship.
and just keep come to the trainings, come to the meetings. The more you meet people, you get business cards, and you see, you're gonna hear the language, and you're gonna see. And honestly, if you feel you're saying something wrong, then call your sponsor or your upline and say, look, this is what I just said to so and so. Can I practice it on you? And let us hear. Maybe there's something we want to fine tweak or leave out or add to what you're saying. If you find you're getting, no one wants to help you or give you any, get any meters. Just reach up, because you don't have to be a pro like he said, but if you're excited, I just started this business and, my first goal is to get this, help me out, I'm helping you out. You should be able to get 8 customers right away. And with this bonus this month, I would say everybody should utilize the money for meters and try to get 8 and 8 at least if you're in your fast start bonus by the end of the month.
So I have a couple of things I just want to mention to you folks, is that next Saturday there's going to be a beach cleanup in Sandy Hook. If you're interested in getting involved, go on the either on the Facebook page or whatever, and Andre, just email him that you're coming so they can order your shirt and all that. And if you're on my team, Nicolisa, I expect you guys to be there. This Thursday in Cherry Hill, Tom Braddock, you saw some excitement about what happened. Tom Braddock is going to be having an opportunity event in Cherry Hill, but thereafter, he's going to do a training similar to what he did impromptu last week that has so many people excited. That training is going to be more for maybe someone's been in the business for a year or a little more advanced, because it has to do with developing a new list through social media. But I think it's also essential that he talks about branding, that we get excited and we think that if I paint myself green and wrap my car, like when I showed up to my first event, people had their cars wrapped in Meridian. I said, what the hell? It's like a circus here. What's going on? How to really brand yourself like a professional, and that's what Tommy will talk about.
When is that one?
That is Thursday night.
Oh, this Thursday?
This Thursday in Cherry Hill. Now, if you can't make it, I was so excited about what Tommy Braddock did with us. As I contacted Bob Quintana that night, I said it's essential that we get Tom Braddock in front of the 300 people who we're going to have in the room on April 30th at our regional event. And Tom will, he's a very great speaker. He'll speak before the 300 people about that in the event that you can't get there on Thursday. But if you're really interested in this, I'd get there on Thursday because it'll be more personal.
But Thursday, can they take guests too or no guests?
Yes, it's an opportunity event.
Oh, okay.
It's going to be a short opportunity, and thereafter, Tommy is going to take the time to really go over this again.
And guys, what this business comes down to, and we talked about it, or look over it just comes about wanting to do it. It comes down to putting butts in the seats. I can think back to the day that the guy came over to my house on a Friday night to show me this opportunity. And something hit me. And we were making money hand over fist in our environmental company, but I knew that bad times were coming. Like I said, I wanted to dig my well before I needed the water. I'm thankful I did. But really this business comes down to connecting with people, putting butts in the seats and never stopping. And when you start building that, it takes a life of its own. And it's the greatest feeling in the world. So I thank each and every one of you for coming out. Remember, we got meetings coming up. It's about putting butts in the seats. It's about me being a master promoter. Because if you're not a leader and you're not there first, I got news for you. Nobody's going to follow you. If you're not strong and you're not ambitious and you're not confident, nobody's going to follow you. If you're wavering and you don't have the belief, borrow Tony's. Borrow mine. Borrow Steve Levy's. You know, Steve Levy's a guy that was successful in the telecom deregulation. He said, John, I've seen this story before at a smaller scale. I made a lot of money. I've seen people make millions and millions of dollars. This is going to be 10 to 20 times what the deregulation of the telecom is. It's there for the taking. We just got to want to take it. Thanks for coming out today.
Thank you, John.
You got me covered, buddy? So I don't get thrown out?
Yep.